Hey, brother, welcome back to the Happy Man Coaching channel. I'm your Happy Man coach, Charlie McKeever. And today on this video, I want to talk to you about reciprocity, the difference between a healthy relationship and an unhealthy relationship. Now, a lot of times men will see videos on YouTube, kind of like this video, but they'll see videos that give them some conflicting information, some information that's not very helpful, that doesn't really do them a service. And one of those types of videos is where it talks about reciprocity, that in a relationship, in a healthy relationship, when you send someone a picture, they should send you a picture back. When you send them a text message, they should send you a text message back. When you do something for them, they should do something for you. That seems to make sense, right? It seems very logical, very reasonable. But the problem is that it leads to an unhealthy relationship. It actually erodes the relationship in that it sets up expectation. It sets up fertile ground for disappointment and resentment. In fact, it's actually very transactional and conditional. It's actually giving to get. It's a form of manipulation and control. And in fact, it comes down to a psychological principle. It's based on stimulus and response. And it's based on a pattern of behavior that actually is meant to elicit something from someone, to extract something from someone. In fact, in his book, Robert Cialdini's book, Persuasion, right? The psychology of persuasion. It's called Influence. There is a whole section on reciprocity. And it's a psychological principle that says that if I give you something, then you're going to feel obligated to give me something in return. Now, you hear that word, obligated? There's no, it's not freely given. There's not a choice. It's, I feel obligated because you've given me something that I have to give you something in return. And this is why when you go to any of the conferences or any of an event, an industry event, why they will try to put free things in your hand, even if it's a piece of candy, even if it's a piece of peppermint, even if it's a pencil, right? They want to put something in your hand. They want to give you something. And if nothing else, they want you to stand there long enough to listen to their presentation. And if the giving and getting goes back and forth, then eventually there's another principle in here called commitment and consistency, where now that if you've agreed to stand there and listen to that presentation for that piece of candy, well, now maybe you'll agree to the next thing, which might be, hey, why don't you just fill out this form for our raffle? Why don't you come to our talk later? Why don't you sign up for this? Why don't you sign up for our newsletter? Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? Till eventually you're like, yeah, sure, I'll buy this thing because why not? I've already started to do this with that simple agreement of a piece of chocolate, a piece of peppermint, a free souvenir from the show, and that's giving to get. It's stimulus and response. Something happens outside, and then something happens inside, right? Somebody gives us something, and then we tell ourselves the story that, oh, that was kind, that was nice, that was sweet. We should do something in return. But that's also a form of manipulation and control, which is talked about in No More Mr. Nice Guy. That the nice guy actually comes up with what Dr. Glover calls covert contracts. He comes up with a story in his mind about what he needs to do in order to make other people happy. And he comes up with a story that says, I'll do this for you, and then you'll do this for me. And the covert part of it is that the other person doesn't even know about it. And it's a contract in that the nice guy tells himself that this is what's going to happen. And because the other person doesn't even know about it, they're confused about why he's upset, about why he feels disregarded, about why he feels alone and disconnected, why he doesn't feel valued, and why he's all of a sudden angry or silent or distant or withdrawn because his expectations of that contract were disappointed. That he said, oh, I did everything that I was supposed to do. Why didn't you do what you were supposed to do? In fact, when I found myself lying on a blow up air mattress in a vacant 2-bedroom apartment, separated from my wife, staring at the ceiling, I actually said out loud, I did everything I was supposed to do. How did I get here? But that was all based on what I thought I needed to do, who I was supposed to be, how I was supposed to behave. And it was a covert contract that my wife had no idea about, that I had lived that way, giving to get. That somewhere I subscribe to this idea of reciprocity, that if I do this for you, you'll do that for me. And the problem is, as we learn in the book Real Love, is that that's based on a relationship, that's love, that's connection based on transaction. It's based on condition, and it's not given freely. So if you find yourself confused about why your girlfriend, your wife, anyone else in your life isn't doing the thing that you think they should be doing because you've already done your part, then maybe you need to wonder, am I engaged in a covert contract? Am I giving to get? Is this actually conditional? Am I expecting this other person to be obligated to do something for me? And am I upset, not at them, but at my own thoughts, at my own story, at the disappointment that I've come up with and been, the expectation that I've come up with and been disappointed about? So if you find yourself in this place, you find yourself experiencing this, you're doing things for your wife, doing the dishes, doing the laundry, doing the things that you think that you're supposed to do in order to get the affection, the attention, the appreciation, the admiration, the respect of your wife, and you're not getting it, and you're feeling dismissed and unloved and unappreciated because of it, let's talk. Reach out to me. Go to happymancoaching.com and fill out that contact form. Let's set up a call and talk about that. I want you to be able to have a chance to tell me what's going on. I will listen deeply and I will reflect back to you what you're saying and ask a few questions to help you hear yourself and to be able to go, oh, hold on, well, maybe I am giving to get. Maybe it is that the other person has no idea that this is even going on, that I came up with that and that I projected it onto them. And I'm so incredibly mad at them, but they don't even know about it. And that's not really fair to them, and that's not really fair to me. Let's have a conversation about that. Let's talk about it. Let's work it out together. Let's unravel the hairball, because I can tell you, brother, this is a pretty important string to pull on to unravel that hairball. So let's do that together. I can help you with that, so you don't have to live there in that space of disappointment, disconnection, feeling like you're not appreciated, you're not loved. Because I guarantee you, if you're operating in this place of reciprocity and covert contract, that's what it's going to feel like. Okay, have a good day. Talk to you later. Talk to you soon. Bye.